Da, 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 da.
Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it, we test it, you play it. And now it's time to blow off some steam as Aperture Gaming is proud to present a B.O.S. review. Now you may be wondering why the fancy ensemble. Well, that's because today's game that I'm reviewing is Nightingale. Now, what is Nightingale? Well, I will gladly discuss that in the review, but first I need to show some footage real quick, just to give you a heads up before you try to play the game. Now, here's what, when I first fired up the game, it warned me that my graphics driver was not up to snuff, that I needed to get the graphics updated. So here's what I was working with, and here's me getting everything updated. So this is just a little heads up because this thing, well, it requires it requires the power for the visuals. I tried firing this game up twice before it booted me out until everything was up and running. So yeah, and without further ado, here is the Steam review. Here is the blowing off Steam review of Nightingale. Series. Nightingale is a standalone game. It is not a sequel, prequel, or in-betweenquel. It is a brand new game.
Team.
This game was developed and published by Inflection Games.
Plot.
This game takes place during the Victorian era, so the late 19th century. By this point, humankind has actually found their way into the realms of magic, or the Fey realms, and interacted with the Fey, aka fairies and other magical beings. They have found a way to utilize the steampunk technology and magic, so it's alternate history. But then, apparently, in the late 19th century, Paris, France opened up a portal which has allowed some like dark magic fog to start creeping into the world, and thus you play a Londoner who's escaped through another portal back into the Fey realms, and now your job's to try to survive in the Fey realms, find other realm walkers, and try to find a way to survive there and hopefully maybe reclaim Earth. And along the way, you are aided by a famous Fey, one by the name of Puck, who first appeared in William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream and was mentioned throughout in other works ever since.
Gameplay controls.
After you create your character, the gameplay it goes between first person and third person, your choice. You wander around, it's a survival crafting game. You have to build tools and equipment to survive. You make your clothing, you make places where you live, you cook food, you hunt, you fight. And as you travel from the realms, is what you get cards that help you. You find a gate, you put the cards into the card reader, and it generates a new world. It kind of reminds me of like choosing the 3 words to select a zone in the Dot Hack franchise. And once you're in a zone, sometimes they have a special card reader in the zone that alters the characteristics of the zone, like if you can jump higher, run faster, or take less damage, or give out less damage. Yeah, so your job is to craft and and if your weapons and items get damaged, you try to repair them. You can also buy, sell, and trade at locations, and you can recruit other realm walkers, either NPCs or other. You can recruit them to join you in your party, or you can form a party with other real people in the game.
Graphics.
I showed the graphics thing at first because, this thing, it has a lot of graphics to chug. It's basically there's a lot of visuals in the game, and your computer has literally a lot to process by this. Everything looks amazing, and so the level of detail that they put in for the character creation is amazing. Like facial details, hair, eyes, skin, and like here's where you can even set your ancestry to go back to your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, and these are factors that slide around when you're creating your look. So aside from that, and then the worlds themselves, the details in the equipment, the creatures, the landscapes, everything is just visually beautiful, very great. It is a feast for the eyes to behold.
Audio.
Now, while your character doesn't talk but makes the generic grunting noises for running, jumping, and weapon swinging, the character Puck does talk to you, so there is some voice work. Not every character speaks though. You also have the animals growling. You have good music, but it alters based on the location you're in and the situation you're in. But yeah, I did enjoy the music. It was very peaceful, very relaxing because I'm traversing around the realms. It was also interesting, like, you also hear the thwack of the axe against a tree, pickaxe mining, the water of the waves crashing on the beach. Everything just sounds really natural and like it belongs there. It's very well done. Multiplayer. The game has the option of single player, but it is single player and online co-op. So like you can play by yourself, but if you want to, you can invite other people in. But it is online, so there is always the option you may encounter other people. So it's a mix of single and multiplayer. DLC. When this game came out, they had like the regular edition and they had the deluxe edition, which comes with the art book. And I do like when I saw this game, the visuals really caught my attention for the trailers. And as a fan of the Victorian era steampunk style, I mean, who isn't? I got the art book, so there is that DLC. But hopefully, as the game goes forward, there will be other DLC. They did mention there's going to be some stuff later on, which I will cover a little later. But yeah, I do think the odds of this game having DLC are fairly high. But aside from the art book, nothing too much else right now. Issues. Okay, there are a couple of issues with this game. Now, I'd like to point out how this game is, in fact, it's now on early access. So, obviously, they're still fine tuning it, and they have a feature where you can report any bugs or issues. So, yeah. So, first of all, regarding the DLC, hopefully there will be other DLC coming along, like patch notes, upgrades, and here's what. For the character creation, once you create your character, you cannot edit the character look currently. They did say that later on there will be an update where that gets fixed, so not so much an issue, just a heads up right there for you. Also, I didn't get to play this game when the day it came out. Stuff outside of YouTube prevented me from getting right into the game. So when I got into the game, there was some stuff I had to look up online, which is kind of both a good thing and a bad thing because I guess that means there's some stuff the game doesn't tell you, or it's hidden somewhere in one of the your journal notebooks where you have to find that. So, yeah, to begin with, like I said, the game is in first person and third person. Like, after you make your character, you're in first person mode. And I saw the trailers for this, I was like, wait, I thought the game was going to be in third person. So, just to let you know right off the bat, to switch between the two, it's the F5 key. Yeah, so F5 key, remember that, write that down. Now, there are a couple of issues. In terms of graphics, there were two areas where there's a few areas I spotted, some areas where things were clipping into other things. One thing I think was just a placement accident. The other one, I can't tell if it was the way the structure was set up. There was a statue inside, but the head is cut off. I can't tell if it's cut off by the ceiling. I can't tell if that was by accident or if that's just some weird visual placement for how the game is set up for how things are laid out. So there is a problem there. Also, when I was doing the game, when I was trying to transfer from one realm to another, the game twice in a row kicked me back to the character selection screen. Understanding again that this is early access, so so there was a little problem with that. Now then, when I was setting up a home base at the start, I had set down some floor panels base for like my house, and the floor panel joints are not snapping together. The walls snap to the floor joints, and the ceiling snaps to the floor. I mean, ceiling snaps to the walls, but floor piece A and floor piece B, they were not connected to each other. So I have no idea what's going on there. I'll have to either look and see if I missed something, or if this is a technical error that'll hopefully get patched. But yeah, the house was not exactly all connected together solidly. So when I go back into the game, hopefully that'll get fixed, or hopefully it'll be fixed in a patch update. So I'll look for that. But yeah, so again, there are a couple of issues, but again, acknowledging the fact that this is the early access, so there is that. Buy, rent, or pass. Alright, despite the rant for the issues, again, acknowledging that this is early access, I had fun with the game. The crafting thing was nice. It's cool how you can look up blueprints, and here's what, like, if you harvest something, you can then discard it for, like, the magical dust essence, or while you're harvesting it, you can get pieces of that. And that helps you with repairing stuff, or you can use it to buy blueprints for more equipment. So I like why this game's going. I thought it was interesting. I love the art style. I find it very interesting. So if you're a fan of Victorian era steampunk, if you like what was done with like, if I had to describe this game, I'd say it's almost like a reminds me a little bit of Fallout, No Man's Sky, and a bit of the two most recent Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Also, there was the Fountain of Youth game that I reviewed last year. It might fall in the realm of that also for comparison. But oh yeah, but I would say that this game is a buy. Overall score. I had fun with this game. Like I said, I'm a fan of the art style, I'm a fan of steampunk Victorian era, and I like how the incorporation of magic, like I said, I like the way that the cards are used to either open a realm or alter the properties of a realm. And one of the tricks is what, early on in the game I found an umbrella, and I know in the trailers I saw how people travel around with umbrellas. So Shiny Nickel says, if I haven't done it already, someone else will get an umbrella, travel around with it, and proclaim, quote, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all," end quote. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, so hopefully once it's out of early access and up and running, has its legs underneath it, it'll sort out some of the problems I pointed out. Also, I plan to go back in there and enjoy looking through the journal and hopefully getting my house up to snuff. So for right now, we here at Aperture Gaming, we give Nightingale a 9.5, a 9.5 out of 10. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for watching. This game and another game came out, so it was a big week in the world of Steam. So be on the lookout for the upcoming review after this one, because next time on Aperture Gaming, we'll be blowing off some Steam again. But until then, thank you. This has been Test Subject 1337 for Aperture Gaming saying thank you. We hope you enjoyed blowing off some steam with this Aperture Gaming review. Until next time, game on, and have a nice day.